Hello, this is Janet Michael. In addition to hosting The Valley Today each weekday at noon on the River 95.3, I also produce podcasts, and I'm excited to introduce you to a new podcast series in partnership with Lord Fairfax Community College. Having provided higher education and career training for the past half-century, LFCC is tightly interwoven into the fabric of the Northern Shenandoah Valley and Piedmont regions. Join me every week for conversations with current and former students to hear their funny and inspiring stories as we learn about their journey to higher education, the role that LFCC has played, where they are now, and where they plan to go. We'll also talk to current and former professors about their experiences and best memories of LFCC over the past 50 years. Get every single episode as they're released on our website at theriver953.com under the podcast tab, or you can subscribe for free in Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for LFCC Stories. Hello and welcome to The Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Friday. As you are listening to the show today, we have pre-recorded our conversation for United Way Day. I am on the screen today with Elise from United Way of Northern Shenandoah Valley. Joining her is Cindy Marzullo. She is the Development Director at the Laurel Center. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Thank you, ladies, for meeting up with me to pre-record our conversation today. It is always great to see both your faces.
Thanks for having us. Good to be here.
Thank you.
Cindy, can you give me an overview of what services the Laurel Center provides and to who, as far as geography, you provide them to?
Sure. Our main office is located in Winchester, and we do provide emergency shelter, therapy, and advocacy to victims of domestic and sexual violence in Frederick, Winchester City, and Clark County. We also have an office in Front Royal where we provide services to victims of sexual violence in Front Royal and Warren County. So down there in Warren County, I mean, sexual assault awareness is big up here in Winchester, but also in Front Royal, we've got a big display going on down there as well.
And then a lot of these services that you offer, you have counseling available, you have the shelter, of course, in Winchester, and these are all provided at little to no cost, right?
Yeah, everything we offer is free. No insurance needed, not anything like that. Yes, we do have therapy and psychoeducational counseling. You don't have to be a shelter resident for those programs. We do offer court advocacy. Just generally, if we have our 24-hour, 24/7 hotline. So, if you have any kind of questions or you feel the need to talk to someone, you can call us at any time and you'll actually speak to an advocate. Is in our emergency shelter where we house victims and women. In the shelter, we house women and children who are victims of domestic violence. But, we also provide services to men as well. Any of the same services. We don't house men in our shelter if they need shelter, but we would provide a safe place for them to stay. But also the therapy and other advocacy services are open to, anyone in the community, including men.
Because April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, are there key things that are like these giant misconceptions that people have about being the victim of sexual assault? Is that what you try to get out? Is the education piece of this throughout the month of April?
It is. It's, there's awareness, prevention, just letting people know that we're here for them if they are a victim of sexual violence. Also, that they don't have to, that's best to reach out to us, call our hotline. That's what we're here for the services. We'll provide support for you along the way, whether you go to court against your perpetrator, we're here for you. But, it can and does happen in our community. And, it's a common misconception. I think we hear it out there. Oh, that really doesn't happen that much, in our wonderful, nice Northern Shenandoah Valley. But unfortunately, it does. I think, with women, I think it's 1 in 6 is the statistic of women who will have some kind of sexual violence episode in their lifetime. And younger women are the ones that are even, the number is even higher for women, 18 to 30. for that, especially college-aged women. It can happen. We hear about the date rapes, alcohol can be involved, all those kinds of things. So we're here in the community to provide services, but also provide awareness.
And you have a big prevention component because you do programs in the school systems with kids to explain to them what it is so that they know not to do it, right?
Well, unfortunately, actually it was late 2020, a good portion of our funding, prevention funding from the Department of Health was cut. So we've had to really scale back on that prevention portion of our program. And it's just really, it's so sad because it's been proven over and over, prevention is what works, not intervention. And that funding at, the government levels just hasn't been deemed, I guess, necessary, but it is a big hole in our program now that we aren't being able. We still have a relationship with Shenandoah University where we go there, work at their Not Just Women Center and work with their program over there. But a lot of the school programs, have been cut, at least temporarily. We're still waiting to see how it all comes out. This year, there was some money allocated in the state for prevention, but we're not quite sure where that's going. So we're on hold right now, and a lot of programs are suffering because of it.
COVID has really thrown a monkey wrench into a lot of the programs that were still necessary even during COVID, but I think people's attention shifted and so did the dollars, and that didn't make it right, but it's kind of what you're now having to figure out and work through.
Well, sure, and there's tons of COVID money, that's flying all over, has been around, but it's very specific. It's COVID supplies. After a while, when you can find the hand sanitizer and the gloves and the mask, we can't put any of that money. While we've gotten some funds, we can't use that for the prevention, and it is very frustrating. We are very proud that we have stayed open throughout the entire pandemic. We never closed our emergency shelter. We had a brief pause, not even really brief, where we kind of were adjusting about this time last year. We went, we had to go virtual. So it was just figuring out a platform that we could still continue to do our therapy services that was secure, not by phone and email. So we have that in place now. We had to suspend all of our groups. We're going to start getting those going over not Zoom, but another platform shortly. But our shelter, we had such strict protocols. Our shelter has stayed open, masks, cleaning, everything. And we didn't have any outbreaks, knock on wood, and everything else. So, a lot of other agencies like us in the state, they immediately shut down and they started putting their clients in hotels. We didn't feel that was a very trauma-informed way to handle people who were in crisis. So we, kept our shelter going, and, the incidents of domestic violence have increased with people being on lockdown, and, we're seeing that as well. We have scaled back how many people we can shelter for COVID reasons as well, but, we are, serving a lot more people.
You guys have a fundraiser that's coming up on Saturday at Brubaker's. It's something that you guys have done for several years. I'm guessing fundraisers are even more important now that we seem to be coming out of this pandemic for you to play catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. We did a lot of re-engineering in the last part of 2020. The first part, we were all kind of figuring out, okay, where is this going? But we were supposed to have the walk a mile in her shoes last year. We weren't allowed to have the permit for that for obvious reasons, but this year it's on. Some gentlemen in the community are putting this on for us, organizing it, and it will be Saturday. We'll gather about 12:30 at Brubaker's restaurant. The walk will start at 1 o'clock. It's men, women, kids, whoever, wear your best high heels. Walk down to Cork and come back up to Piccadilly, and then stop back at Brubaker's and have some, refreshments and snacks, and just hang with us. We'll have some award for, the best shoes, prettiest shoes, most at home in heels, things like that. There's no fee for this event. But certainly donations are encouraged. Whatever you can give a little, and it does, go into our fundraising efforts that directly support our clients that we serve.
And Brewbaker's is giving a portion of the proceeds back to the Laurel Center too.
They
I
are,
think.
yeah. So yeah, their checks. So yeah, so they've been really supportive. It's great. They were our host the last couple of years as well. So it's a great venue, and yeah, hopefully the weather will be nice. And if there are some apple blossom events coming right after that. I know the Wine Fest starts, but if you come out just for an hour, do the walk, check in, say hi, and go on off to your Wine Fest up at the
change into your sneakers and then go on
Yeah,
to
right,
the
yeah.
wine festival. So
Yeah.
tell me about Denim Day.
So Denim Day is next Wednesday, the 28th. It's a day. It's an international movement. It came out of an incident that happened about 20 years ago in Italy. A young woman and her older driving instructor were in a car. He stopped the car and he raped her. When it went to trial, the trial judge determined that it was consensual sex because her jeans were so tight, she had to have helped him take off her jeans. So it was outrage throughout the country, and the women in the Italian government wore jeans to protest what had happened. And it just became a movement out of that. And every year, that last Wednesday in April is Denim Day. It's just an opportunity to, wear your denim, support sexual assault survivors. We have several displays throughout the community. We have some at the courthouse in Winchester. We have something over at Shenandoah University. And I think over at the hospital, we're going to put up some things. Just one of our staff members has decorated some jeans with some very strong messages on them. So it's, I showed a pair to one person and she kind of said, she said, wow, that's really strong. And I said, well, that's what the message is, because it was a very serious thing that happened there. And but they're beautiful, what she's done. So check them out.
I know you've got one more event that's coming up. It's going to happen actually in Front Royal at the gazebo at the end of the month. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, can you give me the details for that? And then Elise, I'm going to let you talk in the next segment. I promise.
Looking forward to it.
Of course. Thanks.
We're going to be back in just a couple of minutes. We are pre-recording our conversation today with Elise from the United Way of Northern Shenandoah Valley. Joining her on the screen is Cindy Marzullo. She is the development director for the Laurel Center. We're going to talk more with both of them in just a couple of minutes.
Got a financial decision to make or a goal to reach, but you don't know where to start? You've come to the right place. Introducing Quick Money Chats with the Northern Shenandoah Valley Financial Education Program. Visit tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat to schedule a virtual chat with a staff member or trained volunteer. We won't tell you what to do, but we will give you the tools you need to choose wisely. And because Virginia Cooperative Extension is part of Virginia Tech and Virginia State, your land-grant universities, you can be sure that our information is credible and trustworthy. And you'll know that we aren't trying to sell you something. Maybe you want to improve your credit score, or reduce your banking overdraft fees, or even figure out if you can afford to buy that car. Sorting through tons of information on the internet can be overwhelming, and sometimes it can be hard to know who to trust. Schedule a Quick Money Chat and get the information you need to take action. Go to tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat and get financial education personalized for you.
Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Friday. As you are listening to the show today, you have made it through another week. We are pre-recording our conversation and are not quite as lucky so far. We are chatting on the screen today with Elise from the United Way of Northern Shenandoah Valley. Her guest is Cindy Marzullo. She is the development director for the Laurel Center. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And Cindy, in the first segment, we talked a little bit about some of the misconceptions that it really does happen here in the Northern Shenandoah Valley, whether people think that it does or believe that it does. It is a real number and is happening to women and men in our community. You mentioned a couple of different awareness events that you're having throughout the month of April, and you've got a live candlelight vigil that is happening in Front Royal at the gazebo. Is that later this month? When is that candlelight vigil scheduled?
Right. It's on April 30th, so the last day of Sexual Assault Awareness Month. It'll be at the gazebo in Front Royal, starting at 7:30. I think it goes till 9. There'll be a lot of speakers, advocates, leaders in the community, and all kinds of things. It'll be a really nice program. And of course, lighting the candles, all socially distanced and wearing masks, of course. Last year, because all of this happened right before Sexual Assault Awareness Month, we did it via video, which it was interesting doing it that way because we had a lot of followers from not from our area. So and we got some positive comments, but it certainly is nice to be back in person. It's a very moving event. So I highly recommend stopping by on Friday evening, the 30th, if you have a chance.
And do you have details for the events that we talked about in the first segment and this candle lighting vigil? Is that on your website? Is it on your social media? Where can people get more information?
Yeah, it's on our website, thelaurelcenter.org, or you can go to our Facebook page. You can click right on there from the website. And we have a lot more information, I think, on Facebook, because as things change, we post it. And there's a lot of other just general awareness months. We're posting things every day on Facebook just about Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So come and check that out too.
Elise, Cindy alluded to this a minute ago when we were talking in the first segment about the pandemic's impact and the fact that they barely shut down and that a lot of the numbers did increase for people who were suffering from domestic violence and sexual assault during the pandemic because we were all locked in our homes, not always with the nicest of other people. You guys are doing a Bring the Basics drive that's going to help them kind of get over the pandemic hump.
Well, in some ways, I know money is always the most wonderful gift to receive because we can do a lot with actual cold hard cash that you can't do with physical items. But physical items are in short supply for a lot of our agencies here in the Northern Shenandoah Valley. And there are certain hard, items that people really need to, that our clients are looking for across several different agencies across in the Valley. So looking for everything from sheets for homeless children to cleaning supplies for our food pantries, to health supplies, things like shampoo, conditioner, all these other necessary things that might help a woman at the Laurel Center. So we're collecting all these basics, these cleaning supplies, health supplies, and like linens, but only sheets in the twin size for area children that can go back to help people across several different agencies in the Northern Shenandoah Valley with the Laurel Center included.
I love that idea. And I will say, I just discovered, so we have these pandemic puppies, and I just discovered that twin extra long fitted sheets work perfectly to cover the sofa cushions and the back of the sofa. So I have all of these flat fitted sheets that are still in their original folded form. Target right now online has twin extra long sheet sets for $4.50. So anybody that's listening, go to Target, order them online, pick them up at the Target in Winchester or the one on the north end, pick them up at the Target in Front Royal and bring them to you because that's a really great deal that's going to do a ton of good.
That's amazing. And what innovation on your part, Janet. Way to go. What's a nice dog bomb hack? I love that. But definitely feel free to donate to us. And if you visit our website, which is UWNSV.org, or you just type into Google United Way in Winchester, you can find information on the Bring the Basics drive. It is the very first image you will see.
Fantastic.
You can see more information about drop sites. You can see our online shopping list. You can see places and businesses that are doing collections. And so you can bring your things into them. And this is all powered by our Society of Emerging Leaders. They are the manpower behind this event. And that's going a month long from April 26th to May 26th.
So real quick, explain to me, what is the Society of Emerging Leaders? Because that's kind of a big deal with United Way.
Oh, yeah. So these are our young folks in their 20s and 30s who are looking to give back, not just financially, but, getting their hands dirty a little bit too. And so they are sort of our manpower. Whenever we hear from a local agency that they have an immediate need or they need something done, we relay all that information over to those young folks. And that's how sort of our Society of Emerging Leaders came about. So when we get a phone call from a food pantry saying, oh, we have one extra distribution left this week, can you come out and help? Or we have an open slot that we need filled with volunteers. These are the people that we sort of rope into that. And they've been a really great asset to our community.
So if somebody's listening and they want to be a part of that, do they reach out to you? Can they find information about it on UnitedWayNSV.org?
Absolutely. There is a page that's called Join the SEL, which is, we call it the Cell. Society of Emerging Leaders at United Way of Northern Shenandoah Valley. You can see information on several upcoming events that you don't want to miss, from a packing event, which is called the Sort in Social, which will be happening as a part of this drive, to the delivery day, where all of our Society of Emerging Leaders are going to be going out and delivering all these items as well. So there are a couple cool ways to get involved on top of running a collection.
Now, I know I have inside information as a board member, and I am so excited that Project Connect is returning, because it was one of the last events that United Way did in person before we went into lockdown, isn't it?
Absolutely. If we hadn't done it last January, we would have gotten it done. But this amazing event, some other areas, they call it Project Homeless Connect, but really it is just a connecting event, a giant resource fair with all of our local partners and services in one place. Oftentimes we'll talk to clients, and people will come to us at United Way looking for help. And we'll tell them that there are 5 different agencies that they need to speak with, and that's how they're going to get the job done. And but lots of times, all 5 of those agencies are keeping different hours. They are only there from this to then. You need to be in person to come fill this out. And we are seeing people that have to take work off for days at a time to try to get all these things done, and then figure out timelines. And it can be such a bear. And just figuring out how to get help can be incredibly deterrent. It can be way too hard for most people to figure out, and way too time consuming. So that's why we created this event, to be able to bring healthcare providers, free dental screenings, homeless assistance, housing assistance, daycare assistance, all these amazing resources together in one place for one day.
And what is the one day?
The one day is June 25th, and it will be at Charlotte DeHart Elementary School on Virginia Avenue, which is in the north end off Pleasant Valley in Winchester.
I love that it's not in January, because you don't have to worry about freezing to death.
Well, it's also nice because some of our services could be outside and socially distanced, and we can accommodate people a lot better with this huge school area that we'll be able to really spread things out and keep things as safe as possible.
So speaking of spreading things out and staying safe, Rubbermaid sale is Saturday, is tomorrow?
Yes, that is indeed correct. And this sale is benefiting the Clark County Education Foundation. So come on out and help our local schools.
Tons of cool stuff.
Yes, indeed.
I need trash cans. I say this every month. Every month I tell you I need trash cans, and every month it's like 1 o'clock and I'm like, crap, I missed the Rubbermaid sale. I was supposed to have been there 3 hours ago.
Oh, yeah, I don't forget about them. That just might be me. But they're on the last Saturday of every month, and they're at the mall parking lot in Winchester in front of the Belk. And they open up at 8 a.m., close at noon. And do not miss that 8 a.m. start time, because the good stuff flies. There's always stuff through noon, but some of those coveted items, like the little, pitchers and brooms and, little Tupperware containers and totes and like wheelbarrows, those beautiful, heavy duty, nice Rubbermaid products that they donate to us to sell, they do fly.
Yeah, they're gone in the blink of an eye, literally.
And you can find more information about that if you go to our Facebook, especially. You can see on our Facebook events a ton of stuff coming up. But just look for United Way in Winchester, United Way NSV, and you can find more information.
And Cindy, before we wrap up, Elise rattled off a list of things that they're collecting in their Bring the Basics drive. Do you guys have a list on the laurelcenter.org of things that you need, in addition to how people can make monetary donations?
We do. We have I think it's a Get Involved page on our website, and you can make donations directly. It also has our wish list on there. Talks about how you can be a volunteer. So there's a lot of information on there. Yep.
Well, thank you, ladies, for meeting up with me on the screen today to talk about all of the good works that both your organizations are doing. I do appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
I hope you get out, have a great weekend. After you go pick up stuff at the Rubbermaid sale, and then head down to Brubaker's to walk a mile in her shoes, then do whatever Apple Blossom stuff you're going to be doing. That's great. I, however, am going to Art at the Mill. If you listened to the show on Wednesday, you heard Nathan talk about Art at the Mill in person at the Burwell Morgan Mill over in Millwood. That's where I'm going to be tomorrow. But I will still meet you back here just a few minutes after noon on Monday, and I will have a brand new episode of The Valley Today ready to go for you then.